Thanks, everyone. My name is Lynn Kingelin, and I'm working on a startup which is pre-launch. It's called Brand Concierge. I've been designing retail stores and branding and mentoring startups. Designing retail stores for about 20 years. So I know a lot about building brands that people love. And so I've built a lot of teams, and I know how agencies work, and I know how startups work. And there's a big disconnect in small businesses. There's a lot of fear about hiring talent that will that can help you grow really quickly and really big. And so there are a lot of freelancer markets out there, and I've used a ton of them as a buyer and seller to really understand how do you grow your business and how do you test it. And there's great appetite for wanting to grow really quickly. So what I'm creating is a marketplace that allows you to hire an agency. So all the things that are not transparent about the traditional process, I'm trying to make transparent. So I'll show you a little bit about where I've gotten to so far. So if I want to browse services, it's all about the categories and what you're looking at and what you're trying to find. So with my dashboard, it's not built in there yet, but really what I wanted to go with it is, what are you spending on certain things, on outsourcing? Are you going to do it in-house? So let me ask you, how many people are in startups here? And how many people do all of their marketing, branding, everything in-house? Well, about 50% is what's typical in the industry. A lot of companies will always do, 50% of the companies will always do it in-house. But the other half will use freelancers and will use agencies. And so it's really about how fast you want to grow and all the fresh ideas that are out there. So I want to be able to put in my dashboard the ability to see what you're spending on outsourcing social media and marketing and advertising and kind of sales, things that go in that way. So the idea is that you're creating what you see on my homepage are these quick views of tasks and services. So if you're selling, you're understanding what you're buying and quite quickly. And so you can buy fixed price services and you can post tasks, and where the innovation is going to come, because it's not that different than freelancer sites that are out there. There's only one of them that has fixed price services of a certain price range, but mine is for agencies that are doing things over £500. So this is a different level. This is for businesses that want to grow. So someone's going to do create a marketing plan for you, and then they're going to tell you, okay, now you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that, and you can do that yourself and find the other people to implement it for you on this. So you can do some of it directly yourself, or you can have those agencies do it for you. So I'm going to be adding in the media spend, and it'll all be transparent on your data or your dashboard, what's happening, when it's happening, and you can understand from your analytics how quickly you're growing. So the whole thing is about giving access to agencies that you wouldn't normally get through the door. So in my last agency, because you spend so much on marketing, you have an ideal client profile, you needed £50,000 to walk through the door. But my last client also increased its turnover 300% in just 3 years' time from when I was doing the project to start to finish. So if you could have the opportunity to increase your turnover by 300%, that's amazing. That's how unicorns are grown. So to use a freelancer and kind of wing it, but at a certain point, you really want to get a team that's amazing and take your business to where you want it to go. So I want to create access and allow. What the problem with the agencies right now is if you go to them, they'll ask you, okay, what's your big grand vision for it? And I've written 5 different briefs for companies, really established companies, 20+ year companies, who didn't know how to talk to agencies. And so the idea is it's transparent, timeframes, deliverables, where you're going, what you're doing, how you're going to get there. And so that way you're not paying for more than you ask, but still a nod to the agencies where they can get paid weekly or monthly for a specific time span. So it's not just the retainers that you use or lose. So that's where I'm going with it.
So, first questions. Oh, it's Mr. got a lot to say. I like you.
Sorry. To answer your question directly, my mother's got a global lingerie brand, and it's in its third year, and they've just outsourced their marketing. So that's the tipping point for them. They hit 6 million in revenue, and were in 30 markets, and decided it was time to outsource. Yeah. I see this, and I see huge potential, not just for small businesses, but for huge, big blue chip companies.
There are a lot of blue chip companies that don't want to do the retainer. They want fresh ideas. They want to be able to find those agencies. They just don't know how to find them because the top 50 companies are held under an umbrella of like 3 different companies, and there are a lot of really great disruptive teams out there that can do amazing work. And so I want to be able to connect the small people with the big people, and actually, I want this to be a new pipeline for agencies. I want them to get away from the traditional model. It's all going to move online in the next 10 years anyways. I would just like to be there first and help them do it.
I was just going to say, I work for an agency. I was just wondering how many, because in terms of, so I work for Publicis, which is quite a big agency.
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously the cost is a big factor because for us it's not worth it. But I think, internally there's a lot of employees who would more than be willing to help, as a side project. So are you just keeping it exclusively for agencies? Because I'm guessing you're just going to get, medium to small size agencies. But I'm sure there's a lot of employees or talent in the big agencies who would be more than willing to sort of lend some time, on a weekend or, after work for a couple of hours, especially designers. Yeah. So are you
So I'm really
out
focusing on the tighter niche. It's still wide in the category that I'm working in, and I think I will have to let in freelancers, but there'll be a way. So like say, this is one of the agencies of testing. Be able to like if it's an agency instead of a freelancer, but if I can capture that niche and then be the go-to place for anybody that needs anything done in marketing, yeah, that would be great. But also, so of all the agencies I've contacted so far, probably about 50 of them, the 0 to 5 people agencies, love it. Can't wait to try it out. But even like last week, 2 agencies that had 20 to 30 people were really interested in it because that's the way it's going to go. They're spending so much money on just trying to get the ideal client profile, and if they don't win those briefs, then the idea is that you have downtime with all of your teams, and you're going to naturally have downtime anyways. But if I can increase your productivity by 10%, that could be like $5.2 billion worth saved by agencies. So. Those are big numbers to throw around. But if you earned a little bit more and saved a little bit more, you have more productive teams and you're spending less on your own marketing. That's what I'd like to do.
Thank you very much, Lynn. That's all we have time for. So a big round of applause.